states that are very serious usually use their strategic asset to advance the cause of states' interest in diplomatic engagements and negotiations. The reason why we keep having this kind of oil scarcity is simply because of the way we manage our petroleum industry in the country. Personally, I don't believe industries like petroleum industry should be in the hands of state. I believe it should be privately owned and run with state regulation. So the reason why we have all these issues is because of our overdependence on oil. Everybody always think about his own share of the pie. If you look at the magnitude of the importation we are doing in this country, we spend almost 17 billion US dollars annually to import refined petroleum products into Nigeria. Now, why do we have to import this? Simply because the state is completely living at the mercy of the oil that we get from the ground that we don't work to produce. Why can't NNPC be privately run but regulated by the state? Why will it remain a state government entity? We should use it as what we call state-owned enterprises, SOEs, like the way serious countries are doing. If you check what is happening in Malaysia with Petronas, or what is happening in Brazil with Petrobras, or what is happening in Russia with Gazprom or Rosneft, they use these big tools to advance the cause of their diplomatic negotiations and engagement. So we can only give you part of our asset only when you can give us something in return. Especially, our biggest problem in this country is skills and capacity of our teeming young generation. Why can't we use NNPC as our negotiation tool to be able to get us more skills training with the countries we're dealing with? We're exchanging these products with them. Now, another most important thing we should look at is that why will NNPC only remain to be operated within the shores of Nigeria? Now, supposing you make it as part of a state-owned enterprise that is privately run with international interests, we will be having oil well in each of the countries where oil is discovered. We should be competing with oil wells in Gabon, we should be competing with oil wells in Russia, we should be competing with oil wells discoveries that have been happening in Ghana, we should be operating in Equatorial Guinea. We should be able to be one of the most internationally recognized oil industry in the world. Not just stay within a geography called Nigeria and everybody is just depending on it. The reason why we have this is because at the end of the year, each of the interesting party wants to take its own share of the pie. So everybody feels entitled. We are running an entitlement-defined country. Everybody is entitled to one of the share that he is supposed to get from that big pizza that is being shared, which is oil. So if you deny one interest party, the party will now cease to operate as normal, and then the general public suffers. But if you liberate the entire NNPC operation, make it a commercial entity, make it a public liability company, let it be listed on New York Stock Exchange, on London Stock Exchange, on Johannesburg Stock Exchange, on our Nigerian Stock Exchange, so that ordinary Nigerians can afford to invest. That will even attract us more billions of USD into the country so that we can power our infrastructure plans. We don't need to cage it within the small money is giving. We need to think big. We need to be able to have capacity to think bigger. Why can't we define the oil market in the world? Why are we just restricting ourselves to only Nigerian oil assets? Why are we doing that? Because it's operated under the state and the state lives on it. Everybody collects a salary from it and everybody is entitled to a share. The private industries, the private organizations, all of them depend on the share that is coming from the oil, and therefore when this share is denied, everybody ceases to work and the general public suffers. So our belief is that this should be liberalized. We should make it a state-owned enterprise that is going to bring more investment into the shores of Nigeria, not just depending on it as an asset where everybody pick and share as a share of the pie. It's just a simple sabotage. It's a simple sabotage. That's exactly what is happening. Some people are requesting for something and that thing probably is not granted as they wanted, and therefore they go on industrial strike and everywhere crash. Once you make it private organization and make the entire shareholding publicly liable company and internationalize it and start bidding for big oil wells in the world wherever oil is discovered, especially now there's a serious competition around the Arctic. Why is Nigeria not talking there? Why is Nigeria not where every other oil is discovered? These are the things we need to do with our NNPC. Allow it to run as a private organization, then you can now create a regulation that will regulate it under state. Then that is exactly my take. Once you do that, the labor union will have nothing to do with the private organization because it's a profit-making business. It's no more a share that everybody will want to take its own cake, share of the cake. It's no more that. It's actually a private enterprise. So therefore, it's supposed to make profit. If it's profitable, every stakeholder enjoys. If it is not profitable, everybody suffers. So there is no need for any labor uprising or any interesting group that will be saying that they will need to be paid this amount of money or that amount of money, or else everybody suffers and they shut down our economy simply because their share of the pie has not been given to them.